Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nora Kisnabakis and can call me Christina. I am one of the member from DTT3 class. So today I'm going to read my grammar exercise which titled Past Simple, Past Continuous and Past Perfect. Hi, thought you'd like to know that the conference was very successful. The talks were really interesting and all the speakers had prepared their material very truly. Everyone agreed we should do the same next year. However, there were some problems with the conference center. When we arrived, we discovered that the manager had reserved the wrong rooms for us. This meant that we didn't have enough space. Unfortunately, he couldn't let us have the larger room because he had given it to another group, which was even bigger than ours. He had also misunderstood the form explaining what lunch options we wanted. In fact, we suspected that he had lost it. I recommend not using that venue again. Best wishes, Nona. Why did Vicky have a shower? Because she'd been working out. Why didn't Becca call me last night? Because she'd fallen asleep. Why didn't Jordan answer the door? Because he'd been having a shower. Why didn't Simon arrive for his interview? Because he'd had an accident. Why didn't Alex eat any lunch? Because he'd already eaten. Why did Cora miss the bus? Because she'd been shopping. Why didn't Ellie go to the beach? Because she'd been studying. Why did Chris lose his job? Because he'd been stealing money. I was pleased to see my friends from uni at the conference last week as we hadn't seen each other since graduation. By the time we reached the stadium, the match had ended and the spectators were leaving. At the end of the meal, he found he couldn't pay his share of the bill because he hadn't broke his wallet. We were pleased that Gary was having his laptop with him, but we were less pleased when we discovered that he hadn't charged the battery. When I came out of the cinema, I found that a thief had taken my phone from my bag. At first, the authorities thought the athlete had been using drugs, but they soon realized the lab had mixed up the test results. When my cousin came into the room, I didn't recognize him because I hadn't seen him since he was a child. We couldn't find anywhere central to stay when we arrived in Rome, so we decided to book a hotel room the next time. Kylie, I'm surprised to see you. Yeah, well, I think you owe me an explanation. What about you? I saw you in the cafe with your sister last night. We had arranged to meet at the cinema, if you remember. So why didn't you come into the cafe if you saw me? I was extremely angry and also extremely cold. I had been waiting outside the cinema for quarters of an hour. But why didn't you get my text? What text? The text I sent you yesterday afternoon. And the one from the cafe yesterday evening. What are you talking about? I was walking past the cinema yesterday lunchtime when I noticed that they had changed the movie. So I texted you to tell you. Then I sent you a message from the cafe to say where I was last night. I didn't get any text from you yesterday. I tried to phone you, but there was no answer. What? Let me look at your phone. Yes, there's your call to me, but not my text to you. But look at on your phone. But look on my phone. Here are my two texts to you, and you can see, I didn't receive any text or call from you yesterday. Oh no, my phone hadn't been working properly all last week, so I took it back to the shop. I thought they had needed it, but obviously not. Obviously not. I'm so sorry I was angry. It is just that, well, while I was waiting, I was worrying about what had happened to you. Then I saw you in the cafe. You were laughing with your sister, and I realized that you had been sitting there in the warm with her all evening. That's why I lost my temper. Never mind, let's forget it. Where shall we go now? What's on at the cinema then? A new musical. My sister has seen it at the weekend. She was singing the theme song all day yesterday. Oh, you must be tired of hearing it. I am. Let's just go and have something to eat. Shall we? Yes, that's good idea.